on Friday. Oh yeah, it's me and Cupcake. Cupcake, you're live streaming. Are you excited to be here? Say hello to the people. Cuppy. Are you having fun? Are you? Hello. Cupcake. Okay, I'll let you go. Well, this is Cupcake's first time on air. I think she's kind of nervous. Okay. I don't think she wants to be on air. Anyways, oh my god. Well, that was one way to start the stream. Hey y'all. Hey Prob Joe. What's up? Hello, Will Call Magic. Howdy, sir. Co-streaming you and Jeff. Yay! Cuppy was angry. That is for sure. Cuppy was not a happy girl right then. Okay, you guys. I am look what I got. I got that special bread. It's from Cane's. So there's it's late. It's 12:29 here in I was gonna say in Los Angeles. We're not in Los Angeles. We're in Dallas, Texas. Thank you. That's funny. Okay. Yay! Abel says I'm always up. We got Probjo in the chat. Abel in the chat. Probjo wants to know, where is everybody watching from? She's in Seattle. Hola. Hello. Abel never sleeps. Okay, even better. We got 15 people in the chat right now. That's what I'm talking about. We are up. You ever get a late night text that says, you up? That's me. I'm texting you. I'm saying, are you up? And all 15 of you answered, and you were like, I am up. And now we're hanging out. Yes, I'm gonna dip this tendy. Hi, Muffin. My cat Muffin is here too. Muffin smelled the chicken tendy, and he is looking at the chicken tendy. I want to show you guys. Look at Muffin. I'm trying to look at the chicken tendy right now. There's Muffin. He's like, I want a chicken tendy. I want a chicken tendy. There he is. What's up, Josh? Says, what's crack-a-lackin'? Hanging out. Eating my Cane's leftovers. You guys, I was just on Legal Vice's stream. They're having a party over there. But I need to get my watch time hours up. So I was like, I'm going to make a small talk live stream with my solid 19 peeps. And we are going to hang out. And we are going to have a damn good time together. And I got my hair up so I can eat my chicken nuggies. I guess these aren't chicken nuggets, though. These are chicken tenders. Oh, yeah. Dip. That's right. Okay. All 18 people, we lost somebody. We lost a soldier. Everybody, yay, it's Forest Mommy. I love Forest Mommy. You guys should all follow her on Twitter. She's super smart and super sexy, and she has a great booty. So if you like smart, sexy ladies with nice booties, follow Forest Mommy. This is a mukbang stream for a little bit. I'm hungry. Thank you, Forest Mommy. Well, you know what? It takes one to know one. So, you sexy. You sexy. You sexy. You sexy. Okay. You guys, everybody in the chat, all 21 of you, we have gained 2 soldiers. I need you to put where you're watching from so we can get to know each other. Don't be shy. Type away. Let me know. Alaska is pretty cold right now. And thank you, Forest Mommy. That's right. Hit that like button, y'all. So, here's the thing. I want to know where you guys are watching from. Because right now, my streams are pretty intimate. We're averaging around 20 people. So this is more like a FaceTime chat where I just hit you up. And I was like, are you up? And you answered. So what's up? And then you answered. And I was like, look at me. Eat this. Damn. Sean out here giving his address away. That's where he's watching from. All right. Thanks for letting us know, Sean. We appreciate you. Sean is just out here. Yes. We're on a phone call, Josh. Because that's what I was thinking. Like, we were on a phone call. Like, yes, this is like a very exclusive. You need to think of this as like exclusive small talk live stream Lala time. Okay. This is super exclusive. You guys got the call and you answered. And there's a couple of things I want to talk about, but I still got to eat. And then we'll talk about stuff. So you can ask me questions while I eat. And I'll tell you things. Oh, man. I need I have water. Look at my cup. Look how cute this is. Can you believe that there's some channels with like thousands of subscribers where this is what the girl will do? She'll just do this. You guys like that? Forest Mommy, I am 32. I'm 32. 32 and proud to be 32. I am a goat. I was born in a goat year, 1991. I am a goat. I also am a Cancer sun. If you all are into astrology. And I'm a Life Path 5 if you're into numerology. And finally, I love Jesus. Yes. I'm going to start an ASMR channel where I'll just be like, Prabjo, yes, you are a horse here. And did you know that the horse and the goat are great companions? They get along very well and they work really good together. That's why we're besties. This is, okay, Josh says, is that a Stanley? No, Josh, this is not a Stanley. You know what this is? This is a Starbucky. This is a Starbucky. I had to tell you guys too, I also got a brand new microphone. I just have not hooked it up or connected it yet. But I will. And once I do, oh yeah. Okay. Good question. Is your sobriety permanent? You know what? Just Nova 1138? It is, actually. It absolutely is because I am 32 and I'm just trying to drink water so I can look 23. But no, on the real, it's permanent because I have done a lot of drinking and drugging in my life, and which was all fun. I mean, not all fun. If it was all fun, then I wouldn't have to have gotten sober. But it served its purpose for the time being that I did do that. And now I'm on a brand new drug called sobriety. And let me tell you, sobriety has been one hell of a ride. One full year, 2023, I did not have a single drop of alcohol. I did not smoke anything, not a cigarette, not a weed. I didn't have one edible. I didn't even have zero painkillers. I don't even think I took a Tylenol. So my new goal for 2024 is no energy drinks. And I have not had a single energy drink all year, which I'm really proud of myself for. I really got kind of, I don't want to say addicted because I wasn't like drinking them every single freaking day, but like on the weekends, I was drinking Celsius. Do you guys ever had an Celsius? Good for you. I was good up until COVID. I'll go sober at some point. You know what? Here's the thing. I think that some people who are like sober are like, oh yeah, sobriety is the only way, and this and that. It's like, I think that I don't regret the times that I was drinking and the times that I was smoking weed because I think that it served for specific purposes in that point of my life. And I think to go through and get through some of the things I was dealing with, it was necessary. But I'm just so grateful to be at this point where I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm emotionally regulated. I'm at a point where, like, I don't know. I'm actually glad I've done all the drugs that I did. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting. Yes. I got chicken nugget. It's good. Hey, people. I remember when I smoked weed. It was not a good time. Y'all, I have to tell you the craziest story about one of my girlfriends. She posted a story on her Instagram. You know those like drinks that you can buy in California and it has THC in them? Well, she bought one of those THC drinks and she drank the entire bottle. She did not read the directions on the back of the bottle that said you were only supposed to drink a capful because of how strong the THC was in the entire bottle. It was supposed to be like you just drink a capful of it and you should be good for like 6 hours. Well, she drank the entire container and it got so bad and scary for her that she went to the ER twice that weekend because she felt like she was dying and it was a horrible experience. And every time she went to the ER, they would just tell her, okay, hydrate, it'll wear off. But she posted about it on her Instagram story and it was terrifying for her. But I was like, damn, yes, that is exactly what happened to her, Prob Joe. She drank all of that. And oh, it's Carmen. Hey, Carmen. Um, this is so funny. Abel says, be honest, Lila, who actually listens to the directions on a bottle. Well, she was drinking it and it tasted fine. Like the flavoring was all totally fine. And then she said about 30 minutes later, she was like, oh no, I've made a huge mistake. Something is terribly wrong. Something is very wrong. And she spent 2 days going to the ER. I'm so saturated upon ain't never enough. Forest mommy, I feel you. Okay, when I was smoking at my peak, I was smoking like 10 blunts a day. 10 blunts a day to myself. Okay, 2 in the morning, 2 right after that, 2 in the afternoon, 2 just because it was 5 p.m. 2, I just couldn't stop. And it was fun for that time period of my life. I also vaped it. I also ate it. I drank it. I've done all sorts of stuff with it. What's up, Adam? Shout out to Adam who's hanging out in the chat. Forest Mommy says hi to Adam. Aw, yay, friends. Adam is awesome. Adam runs a great show in Los Angeles that I have featured for Chrissy Mayer on. That was actually the show that we had where remember the guy got punched in the face at the show? That was wild. That was wild. What's up? Producer Robert says blazing Lila. You know what? I was blazing. When I lived in Los Angeles, I was blazing. You guys, this is so fun. This is like a private, it's like we're having like a FaceTime chat. Yeah. I love this. Adam is great. Proud of him for what he does. Yeah. It's really cool. It is really, really cool to produce your own stuff, put it together. It's a lot of work, a lot of learning to do. And I had a great time. Both shows I went to. You know what? This is such a good question for us, Mommy. So, Lila, do you have any pain with your body and condition it, or is it all just kind of normal? I was just actually at dinner with a friend tonight, and I was talking about this. I am not totally sure. Like, I think that I have like a very high pain tolerance, and I wish for like 30 seconds I could like transfer into someone else's body or just have my body be physically the way it's supposed to be, I guess, if it was normal, and just like to walk 30 steps. I wonder what that would feel like, because I think I have such a high pain tolerance, and like, because I walk, like, one of my legs is longer, my left foot just kind of hangs, and I can't move my toes. So it's even weird that I can even walk. But I think that like my pain tolerance to certain things is just higher, and I'm so used to it that I think if somebody else was in my body, they'd be like, oh, this is fucking painful. But because I've had it for so long, I've just kind of adjusted to it. And thank you. I love that you're doing this sober. Yes, I'm sober. I'm high on life. But you know what? When you're sober for like after you hit like the year mark, I feel like it's so weird. It does kind of feel like being on this new drug, because when I was drinking and like using, there wasn't like a day where I didn't go without smoking or didn't go without like at least having one drink. So to have the fact that I don't need anything is so weird, but also really cool. And I'm also doing it because of the fact that I do have spina bifida, and I think it is such a miracle that like I don't need painkillers or anything, even though my doctor was like so this is so funny. So my doctor, my new doctor here in Dallas, the first time I met her, she was so sweet. She was like really excited and giddy to meet me, and she told me that she had never, in all her years of practicing and working with people with spina bifida, she had never met a patient who could walk. So to her, I was just so like this fascinating specimen, you know? So it's kind of cool. And I'll never forget when she was like checking my back and checking my breathing. She was like, so how much pain are you in? Because I can prescribe you whatever you need. We can get this managed. Like, let me know what you need and I will write it out. Like, she was ready to just open the gates of whatever painkillers I needed, she would give to me. And I told her, I was like, actually, I'm not really like in, serious pain. And she was like, what? Are you sure? And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm okay. And she was like, oh, are you sure? Like, it was so funny because it was almost like she was having a very hard time comprehending, especially after like looking at my back, watching me walk, looking at my x-rays and stuff, being like you should be in like a lot of pain, That was the kind of vibe that she was giving me, it was very sweet that it's so funny. It was your chance to be a dealer, Lila. Yeah. See, but that is true. Doctors can be pushy. But I will say this, I was very like I was she's one of the first like doctors that I've encountered that I felt like was like so just like really like caring. And also because I for a little bit once I like turned 18 for like a long time, I just didn't go to doctors because I had gone to doctors for so long when I was like a teenager and especially when I was in middle school. Like I couldn't go 3 months without a doctor's visit, and they would have to do like a whole full body X-ray, and it would be like a whole day event. I'd have to like miss an entire day of school, and the hospital that I would go to on the military base in Washington was like 2 hours away. It was like a whole event. And I would have to do this like every 3 months because when you have spina bifida and you're going through puberty, they're really afraid that you could develop something called tethered cord syndrome. And if you develop tethered cord syndrome, you can lose the ability to walk. You can lose the ability to go to the bathroom on your own. You can be in severe pain. Like all of these things could happen. So they were constantly like monitoring the growth in my back and my spine. And I remember also when I was 13 too, like the way that my foot was growing, the way that my toes were growing, they were like curling in like this. So that summer, I had to have this surgery where this was so sick. I had to have toe surgery where they put these hooks. Okay, I'm talking these 6-inch hooks into my toes to straighten out the toe. So I had fish hooks, imagine, like they were like fish hooks that came out of the top of my toe, and the hook went all the way into my toe, and I had to have that in my toes for like 6 months so that my toes would straighten out. And then I remember right before school was going to start, it was my 8th grade year. I went to the doctors and they this was so disturbing, okay? Because I don't really have that much feeling in my foot. So thank God I don't. Because I'm telling you, when they yanked out the fish hooks from all of my toes and I saw how long the hooks were, it was so disturbing. And not only did I have fish hooks in my toes, they also had to put these screws in my ankle. So I had screws in my ankle and I had to wear this cast on my foot. Okay. When they took the cast off, my skin looked like mashed potatoes, okay? Because there's all this like dry skin and the smell is so rancid. It's horrible because you can't like when you take a shower, you cannot get the cast wet, obviously. So I would have to like take plastic bags and wrap it around my foot and kind of like stick my leg out when I'm taking a shower, and I have to stick my leg out because that can't get wet. Okay. So I remember they removed my cast and they removed the pins out of my foot the like 3 days before uh 3 days before my 8th grade school year. Okay. And I had been on crutches that whole summer because of the fact that my foot was in this cast and I'm 13, I'm on crutches. And oh my gosh, my crutches were so cute because they were just like really tiny. I was like really small. I mean, I'm 4'6" as a grown woman now. So back then I must have been like 4 foot. Anyways, so I had these cute little crutches. And then I remember when I went to school, I was like so determined. I was like, I do not want to go to school with these stupid crutches. Like, ew, embarrassing. You have to understand, this is like in 2006 when being disabled was not like a cool, popular thing. Like, it wasn't like, a fad. It wasn't like popular. It wasn't like all over Twitter the way that it is now, where everybody's like, I've got a mental disability and everybody's like proud to be disabled. Okay. I was not proud to be disabled. So I was like, I do not want to bring these crutches with me to school. Like, this is so embarrassing. So I and also I had to like relearn how to walk because I hadn't walked all summer. Okay. So I remember in the 8th grade, and I remember like walking to class and like being, oh yeah, probably just correct here. It was 2004. Thank you, girl. I was in so much pain. And remember, you only have like 5 minutes to get to class. 5 minutes is so funny. Lila bullying the crutches, calling him ugly. Hey, yes, I was calling them ugly because people are about to call me ugly if they see me with those crutches. You have to remember, Project just told you this shit was 2004, okay? It wasn't 2024 where the crutches could be bedazzled now and I could put sparkles on them and make it look all cool and I could do a whole photo shoot and then it would get picked up by Good Morning America and they'd be like, wow, look at this inspirational 13-year-old with these crutches and these fish hooks that just got taken out of her toes. Okay, that was not what 2004 was about. 2004 was like, you are literally going to get made fun of. And I was not about that. And Prabhajit was right. It was the school was huge. Okay, the school was huge. And I remember I had 5 minutes to get in between my classes. So I would like walk with the people and like, act like everything was like fine. And there was no way in hell I was going to make it to my class in 5 minutes. And I remember when people would like get into the classes, the other students would, and now I would be alone in the hallway and I'd be like slowly like hobbling to class. I was crying. I had tears. I was in so much pain. And I remember I'd have to like stop every 5 steps. Like, this is awful because you have to also understand I had screws in my ankle. Okay. These screws. And then, yes, I was absolutely determined not to use a wheelchair. I mean, looking back on it now, here's again, you have to understand, like, this is 2004. Disability was not normalized. If I was to go through something like this now, you best believe I would have a motorized wheelchair. I would be going down those hallways acting like a goddamn parade princess. Okay. I would not have no shame. I would be proud of it and I would be rolling around on a motorized scooter. I'll be running people over who got in my motherfucking way too. Okay. But back then in 2004, this was not cool. So I was like, I do not want to have I do not want people to even associate me with being disabled. Okay. And you guys have to understand too, in 2004, I did not let people know I had spina bifida, okay? I have spina bifida and I also have scoliosis because of my spina bifida. Let me tell you how much I rejected my disability. Do you guys remember in the 4th grade when you would have to go to the gym and and they would check you for scoliosis, right? They'd have all the kids line up and they'd lift up their shirts and check, and they'd have you bend forward and they would check if you had spina bifida. I remember being in the 4th grade, getting in that motherfucking line with all 45 of my classmates, knowing damn well that I had scoliosis. That I already had this shit that these people are looking for. And I got in line and I bent over. I let them lift up my shirt and I looked at the lady. I'm like, yeah, I have it. Like, why did I just, opt out? Why did I still continue to stay in line? Why did I do that? I don't know. That memory like haunts me and makes me laugh to this day. But anyways, because everybody knew what scoliosis was, I didn't really have a problem telling people, oh, I had scoliosis. But I guess that is true. It helped me feel normal for a second while I was in line. Carmen asked a question. Carmen, they were checking kids to see if they had signs of scoliosis. And if they had scoliosis, then they could like send them to the nurse or get them help or whatever. So, but by the time I was in the 4th grade, I already had like 8 surgeries. Like I've had back operations. I've been in full body casts. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to feel normal. I just wanted to be included. Okay. And so I would tell people that I had scoliosis, but I was like very not about saying spina bifida. I was like, spina, not me. I'm not going to associate myself with that word spina bifida because I thought it sounded weird, and I didn't want people to be like, oh, she's like a weirdo. Oh, crazy legs. I have spina bifida too. That's what's up. Look at us. Just a couple of spina bifidas here hanging out. So it wasn't until I got to even in college, I didn't tell people I had spina bifida. I would say like scoliosis. But it really wasn't until I moved to Los Angeles for the first time, and I was 21, and that's when I met other people who had spina bifida at this event called Life Rolls On. The first person I met was this little girl. She had spina bifida, and once I met other people and I really saw the severity of my condition in other people, it made me realize like, oh man, all these years that I've spent feeling like so insecure about my skinny legs and all these things that I just hated about myself. Like, I should just wear whatever I want to wear, because when I was in high school, I wouldn't wear like short dresses or skirts. I always wore jeans, and I remember one summer in particular, I wore freaking board shorts all summer because I wanted to like really hide the way that my legs looked, and I had the worst tan. I mean, it was, yeah. Thanks, Prob Joe. Lila, it's a miracle that you're alive. And you know what? It's a miracle that we all were the fastest swimmers in the nutsack to get here, you know? We were the chosen ones. And Crazy Legs understands me. The shorts in public till 30. Yeah. Yeah, you get it. It's just, it takes so long to like truly be comfortable with your body. And like I said this on the stream before, but I feel like Benjamin Button, you know, like if you've seen that movie, Benjamin Button is like this really like, he starts out old and then becomes young. And I feel like that's kind of like with my disability. Like I started disabled, and when you're like a disabled kid, it's weird. Like people understand granny or grandpa in a wheelchair. They don't understand like little kid in a wheelchair. They're like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I think now that I'm in my 30s, I accept myself more, and I think that's what makes other people more accepting, like cuz I'm just so open with it. But I also feel like I'm kind of like meeting my peers in the middle, where they're starting to deal with maybe some disability issues, and now they see me and they understand me, you know? Uh Aw, you're so sweet, Forest Mommy. You always look amazing in your pics and stand up. You look better dressed and put together than most female comics. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. But hey, I gotta tell y'all, I'm really good at taking selfies, because for a long time, I was all about that catfishing. Okay. I was like, I gotta hide this disability. I gotta really, I was if this was, you know how like 2020 was all about that Zoom era? I remember we had to do like these Zoom comedy shows, and I was thinking like if this was back when I was 19, I would have thrived, because I would have loved that I could just like be behind this camera and you guys would have no idea that I was 4'6" with a birth defect. Okay, I would have loved that. Okay. But it was funny. So I did one Zoom stand-up show. Comedians were doing stand-up shows on Zoom, and some comedians thrived and they loved it. And let me tell you guys, I did one Zoom comedy show. It was so awful, so horrible. I was in my living room like this, and I felt like I was bombing on the stream, that instead of like saying goodbye or anything, I just slowly closed my laptop and I was like crying in my living room. And I have performed in front of like crowds of 800 people before, but here I am on a stupid ass Zoom comedy show crying in my goddamn living room. So I only did one Zoom comedy show, and it was awful. Abel says, I need to learn to take selfies. You know what? Practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. Just keep taking pictures of yourself. Oh, wait, let me say goodbye to Carmen first. Going to bed. Big hugs from Texas. Carmen, we love you. Carmen is amazing. Carmen, I hope to see you on June 25th or January 25th at Hyenas in Dallas. I hope you're able to come to the comedy show and hang out with me and Chrissy and Keanu because we'd love to hang out with you. Good night, Carmen. Yay. Forrest Mommy says, the reaction from the audience has to be one of the most important things. Can't get there with Zoom. Absolutely. Absolutely. I could not. And also, okay, you guys, I also remember the first time, like even learning how to stream and do these stream shows took me a couple years to feel confident enough to even start my small talk live stream show because I had to get used to this format of talking. And I'm so grateful, you know, for the friends that I've made in Texas and especially doing Simcast with Chrissy. I remember the first time I did a Simcast episode. Okay, I did not understand live streaming. I had my computer up. I was sitting in bed. My background was my headboard. And I didn't understand. I remember somebody like donated a $1.99 super chat. And I'm like, why would they only donate $1.99? Why wouldn't you just round it up to $2? And then I remember Chrissy was like, well, it's because it's like the option. I didn't understand that. And then I remember I would do like anytime I'd be on streams with anybody, I would be like really nervous. I'd be like, oh, like freaking out in my living room. And now I'm just like, okay, it's like a FaceTime chat. Oh, that's so funny. I will never forget my back already blown out, but my husband blows it out too, or something like that. So funny. That's why I met you. Aw. It was probably one of a punchline from one of my bits that I used in the stream. But I think this is so fun. You know, what I really love about doing the live stream is that we're in here and we're creating a community. And the best thing is when I do comedy shows with Chrissy, it's so awesome to meet people who have watched me on live streams for the last year. And then it's like I can get on stage and they already know that I have spina bifida. They already know like so much about me. Like they already know that I eat dog meat. You know, they already know these things. So it's almost like we have these inside jokes and then I'm on stage and I can just kind of go deeper into stuff, you know? And oh yeah, Abel says, I remember my first YouTube video. I was so nervous. I love my episode with Elijah and he was great for my first time on camera. See, it's like practice makes perfect. You know, it's so that's what I'm trying to do with Small Talk live stream. Number one, try to get my watch time hours up. Number two, just practice doing this. We're learning together. You guys, I just learned how to screen share the last stream. I've done 4 now. This is my 4th live stream episode in 2024, which is amazing. I've officially done more live streams in 2024 than I did in 2023 because I did try 3 different times in 2023 where I did like a 7-minute test stream. Then I did like another 30 minutes and, you know, it's just kind of funny. But yeah, you guys, it's so great. And I feel like it's just like hanging out with friends, you know? Let me have another chicken nugget. My mom is the best. Speaking of which, I need to send her this so she knows I'm streaming. I'll send it to my mom right now. I forgot to send it to her. Let her know I'm on the stream. She'll watch. Thank you, Forrest Mommy. Forrest Mommy says, you just gotta start doing it and keep doing it. And then it turns into something. Yeah, exactly. Do you guys know Small Talk was actually the name of my YouTube show that I had with Eric. In fact, we'll watch just like the intro to this. But me and Eric used to have a YouTube channel called Channel 310. And I had a small talk with Lila Hart was the name of my show. But I filmed like over first it started as like an interview show, and I interviewed like 35 guests, all different types of people, including 2 girls who both didn't have arms. Can you imagine that? I met 2 armless girls back to back and had them on my show. It was wild. And then it developed into Small Talk Live, which was kind of like my Chelsea Handler, Johnny Carson type show. And we did it at the Skiptown Playhouse Theater in Los Angeles. I did 7 episodes there. And then I did my eighth episode at Barcata in Hollywood, which was a Filipino restaurant. So this show had comedians, musicians. I would have the comedians come out and perform, do like a 10-minute set, and then come sit on the couch and chat with me. Then I'd have a musician perform, do like 3 songs, and then sit and chat with me. Then I had panels. I had a panel called the Small Talk panel, where I had a couple of friends who had different types of dwarfism, and they were on my Small Talk panel. Then I would just have different stuff like that. It was kind of like a variety show. And then the 8th episode was at Barcata in Hollywood, which was a Filipino restaurant, which was so excited to host my show there. And then COVID happens, and after COVID happens, the restaurant that I was doing my show at completely shut down, and it never came back. And it really sucked because I had such a good relationship with the restaurant owners, and they were like, people could like eat and watch a show, and it was so freaking sad that it ended. But you know, now we're here. Now we have Small Talk live stream. So that's where all of this, where Small Talk comes from. You know, Small Talk is not just, Small Talk. Let me show you guys. We'll go to my old Instagram. Let's see if it'll come up. Because I used to have an Instagram called Small Talk. Yeah, here. Well, we're going to do a screen share, and I will show you pictures from my old channel. Or my old show. 1 second. Small Talk with Lila Hart. Okay, this is the podcast. Yay, we're going to do a screen share. How fun. Okay, present, share screen. Okay. We're going to do... Okay, share. Okay. How fun is this? Here we are, guys. So this was my old show. Look how cute. These were the Big Runts. They were a little person rap group. This is when we were at Barcata. Let's watch like a clip from it. Let's see if it'll play. Who harder than me? I'm better than you. You better than us. You know it ain't true. Who harder than me? I'm better than you. You better than us. You know it ain't true. I would have people come perform. I want to see one of my. Here's a clip from the panel. Let's see if I have a clip from. Okay, so there's. Okay. And so we have such a great. Okay, this is my Small Talk panel. And she is from the UK, Ireland. And her name. You guys can hear the background noise of. It was horrible. It was really bad. Of the restaurant because people were like eating. Let's see. I want to show you. There's a specific clip, but look at my show. Look how cute it was. Maybe, I mean, no, not maybe, definitely. See, look, there's me and Eric. This is shows all our people on together. I want to play one of the performances that was really awesome. Okay, This is one of my favorites.
Next time, make your own fucking sandwiches. You see what I see? A plate of fully cooked chicken wings. If you swing on my left, I'ma come through your chest with a kick to your chest. Everything. We've been serving since 93. Complaints about cleanliness, not a peep. But you come in here talking shit to my ear and you're claiming that we do not keep it clean. But we got that. But we got that. But we got that air in the window. But we got that.
But that was my show. I do miss it. I like my little logo. Anyways, it was fun. I'm really hoping to bring something like that back to Dallas, eventually. So I've been doing, stuff for a long time. And, I think I love that everybody's talking in here. This is great. This makes me so happy. Everybody's friends. 2020 really changed a lot with my life and what was happening to me in Hollywood. And if 2020 had not happened, I feel like I was so close to what they would call making it in LA. And then 2020 really screwed a lot of people over, myself included. But hey, I'm in Dallas, Texas now, and let me have Bisky. I want to show them Bisky. This is Bisky. Yeah. Look how Bisky is cute. She don't want me. Could you fill this up, honey? So, but I'm feeling really good. I feel like 2024 is my comeback year. Even look at me now, 2024. I've got Small Talk live stream. It's coming back, baby. You could try to hold me down, but you won't. Yeah. Thanks, Forest Mommy. That's what pisses me off for you. Comedy takes so much work and they took it away from people. And they absolutely did. And you have to understand too, you would think why didn't other comedians stick up for you, Lila, or this, that? Comedians are very egotistical, kind of selfish people. It's just you and the microphone. It's not like a team effort, So when places in LA were not allowing certain people to go into comedy clubs because, you had to have certain paperwork as proof to let you into certain places. For those who know, they know. When I wasn't allowed to perform at certain places, other comics didn't really care because they're more stage time for me. You have to understand, comedy is there's kind of there's levels to it. I've been doing comedy since I was 24 years old. Okay. I'm 32. I'm coming up on my 8-year stand-up anniversary. I've been doing this for 8 years. And I have been in the trend. I started in Los Angeles, which is a very interesting place to start. A lot of people will start in their hometown, a smaller town, get really good, and then move to Los Angeles, where it's I started amongst people who were freakishly talented. There's people who they live and breathe stand-up. So it's not it's like going when you're in Hollywood and you go to karaoke night on Hollywood Boulevard, you're going to encounter talented fucking singers because everybody wants to be a star, So I remember, that's so fun. I remember I was on Hollywood Boulevard and I went to a karaoke night, and I swear to God, every person that performed, I was just blown away at the talent. Okay. Now, as far as stand-up goes, this is what I say. This is what makes stand-up so hard. And this is what makes going to an open mic so difficult. At an open mic, there'll be 30 comics. Some people go up or whatever. They could be a bucket and they pick people up. But it's when you're at an open mic, it's like being at a basketball game where some people are Michael Jordan and you're wow, that person is fucking incredible. They're hilarious. They've got some talented. And then guess what? There are some people who are retarded and they have Down syndrome. So it's like Michael Jordan playing basketball with someone who has Down syndrome and we're all on the same fucking team. That's what an open mic is like. Okay? And that's what makes an open mic kind of pretty miserable. But anyways, yeah, I did a couple speakeasy shows in my apartment during the height of COVID. Yeah, I mean, my advice, Abel says, I want to try stand up. I could probably think of a few jokes aimed at myself. And you absolutely should. You should try it. And you should go to an open mic. That's my advice. People ask me, how do I do stand up? Go to an open mic. Go to your first open mic and just freaking do it. Because you're either going to go up there and you're going to love it, or you're going to go up there and you're going to eat shit and you're still going to love it. Okay? I also think that, comedy, I think that comedy is just one of those things where, it's the people don't really respect the art form because literally anybody could do it technically. And that's why I hate when people when I go to an open mic and people are like, oh yeah, I just go up there and I just wing it. I just wing it. Yeah. I just go up there and I try to do crowd work with the audience. And I'm like, dude, crowd work is reserved for the headliner. If you're going to an open mic and you're doing crowd work, get the fuck off the stage. Seriously. Don't ask the couple in the front, how y'all doing? No, this is an open mic where you need to come prepared with some motherfucking jokes. Don't come up here and be like, no. Give time back to the room. We are here to work on jokes. Okay? And when I go on stage and I'm doing these jokes, my goal as a comedian is to make you as the audience think that I'm just coming with this off the cuff. And some of it I am, but that's also because I'm a trained professional who's been doing this for so long, and I've been in so many different rooms with so many different types of people that I'm able to come up with stuff like that because I have so much experience to do that. But this is not just coming off the cuff. It took actual work, writing jokes, going to so many mics. And in Los Angeles, you could go to an open mic, 100 people will show up, and only 30 comedians will get to perform. And guess what? All 100 people will stay and watch. And I think that's why I was able to get so good, is because I was forced to watch a lot of shitty people perform. And sometimes watching somebody perform that's really bad kind of ignites something in you, and you're like, oh my God, I don't know. Yeah, that is true. I like that open mics can be freak shows at times. And it's true. And I think there's a difference between, there's levels to this. There's open mic comedian, then there's, actual comedians who are getting performed. I think anyone can call themselves a comedian. Just put it in your bio, I'm a stand-up comedian. And I think you transition from open mic to actual comedian when you actually get your first paid gig. When you first get paid, that's when you can say, I'm a comedian. So, but I also think that there's different kinds of comedy. There's some people who are live stream comedians, or people who are on Twitter and they're Twitter comedians, but that is not the same thing as doing stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy is its own art form. There's no edit button. There's no let me reverse this. And also, I think what makes it the most difficult form of public speaking, it's one thing to go to someone's lecture or go watch someone speak and you're like, oh, they happen to be funny. They're giving a speech and they happen to be funny. You're like, wow, that was really great. And they were funny. It's a whole nother thing to go to a stand-up show, and as a comedian, people are expecting you to be funny because that's why they're here, is for you to tell a joke, right? Thank you so much, honey. That's a whole other, it's just a whole other thing. The stakes are high, and the people, well, Abel says, can I try a new joke here? Probably won't be too funny just reading it. Well, you know what? Okay, this is I had somebody 2 streams ago ask me about, Lila, would you ever let AI write your jokes? Or what do you think about AI writing jokes? And it's anybody can write jokes, but there's a difference between writing a joke, reading a joke, and performing the joke. Because sometimes it's not even about the joke. It's about how you say it and how you look at the audience and how the body language that comes. There's so much into it. It's anybody could read like a popsicle stick joke, right? Like you could go up there and you could just read like a knock knock joke. But is that knock knock, like you can make a knock knock joke 10 times funnier if you're like a very, I don't know, like there's different types of comedians. There's some comedians who are very like stoic. They just talk like in one monotone voice like this. That's a style. A part of what going to the open mic is to find your voice. I think the first step is, yes, having jokes written. So, Abel, if you are writing jokes, that's amazing. And also this right here. And the crowds are different every time. This is great. Stand up, you have to make someone laugh, have to entertain, enlighten, and challenge societal conventions. No other form of public speaking demands all four. That is absolutely right, Adam. Yes, you've literally put it perfectly. And on top of that, the crowds are different. So this is huge right here. You have to be able to understand the crowd and who you're performing to. Let me give you guys a good example of this, okay? So people say, one thing I can't stand about this whole cancel culture thing is I can't stand when comedians are like, "Oh, I'm getting canceled because I said this joke," and I'm like, okay, I don't believe anybody should be canceled for like your freedom of speech. We're allowed to say whatever we want, but there are certain things that I'm like, you just said that for shock value. That isn't a fucking joke, okay? If you go on stage and you just scream the N-word, and then you're like, oh, why aren't they laughing? It's like, because where's the punchline? Where's the joke? Here's my rule. This is how I say, what is the difference between a good joke and a offensive joke, or just a good joke and a bad joke? What's the difference? Here's the thing. If you have a joke that is about a specific type of person, it's like you have a joke about Black people. Let's say you have a joke about people in wheelchairs. Would you be able to tell that joke if everybody in the room was Black, if everybody in the room was Mexican, if everybody in the room was in a wheelchair? Would you be able to tell that joke? If everybody in the room was a midget, you have a great midget joke. But what if your entire audience was a midget? Would you be able to still say it? And to me, that's the difference between like, I guess they could all be jokes, but I think that's when you've got something really good. Because at the end of the day, like, comedy isn't just about offending people, okay? It's actually about bringing people together, I think, more than it is offending people. It's about, hey, see how silly this is that we're doing? Like, see how silly this thing is? And we can all laugh at it and see see how ridiculous it is that we laugh about this kind of stuff. And for me, it's like, when I the first time I went to a comedy show in Los Angeles, I watched this comedian Adam Ray perform a comedy joke about his friend Brad Williams, who's a midget. Well, he said on the stage, a midget, and he was, he had this funny joke about him. And I remember sitting there feeling like, oh my God, he said the word midget, and I felt really uncomfortable. But to me, there was something internally going on with me that I had to figure out. And now when I go on stage and I use the N-word, midget, I'm not offended by it anymore because I had to figure out my own stuff. So I don't know. I think it's a balance, but I'll tell you guys this. This is where I think I did my most offensive bit that I had. This is so funny. That's great. So one time I did a show it was an 11 a.m. luncheon show for it was like an AA group, a woman's like AA conference, and they invited me to be the comedian, and I was asked to do 20 minutes performing for these ladies, and I went on stage and I performed, and I was just killing it. They were loving it. It was all great. And then I did this bit about children, and kind of, it was like a sexual, it was very offensive. Okay. I don't know. I want to like, am I allowed to say this kind of stuff on YouTube? I don't even know the fucking rules. But basically, it was a sex trafficking joke, okay? And half the crowd laughed and half the crowd looked at me like in horror. All right? But I really believed in the joke. So I was like, I'm going to do it in front of these people. Well, then the speaker after me, the like guest speaker that they had, she went on stage and talked about how she was like a victim of child sex trafficking. And I had just performed this bit about that. Anyways, half the crowd came up to me and was like, "Oh my God, Lila, you're so funny. That was so great." And then half the crowd was like very like upset with me. But it was a big risk to take. Okay. Another example of that was when I was on Little Women LA. And we'll watch the clip together because why not? We're here. Where I offended the ladies with my stand-up Little Women LA. I have a joke, my midget bits, my midget bit joke, my midget bits, my jokes. And I did my comedy in front of the Little Women LA, and I thought, because here's what's crazy too is like right before I performed, I remember thinking like, Lila, are you gonna do this bit in front of them? Like, do you think that's the right thing to do? And I was like, yeah, because it's very funny. It's a well-written joke, and I'm gonna do it in front of the people I think would offend the most. So here, we'll watch the bit together. Let me figure out how to do this again. Okay, hold on. I'm going to, 1 second, you guys. We'll watch this. Present, share screen. Okay, this it goes. Okay, perfect. Little Women LA. We're gonna watch this together. It's gonna be fantastic. All right. I typed it in there. Okay.
Hi.
So here's me meeting the girls.
Hi. Thank you so much for coming to the show. Hi.
So this is Brianna.
Hi.
This is Tanya.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. I'm so happy you guys came out.
How long you been doing comedy?
About a year, but I love it.
You use the M word quite a lot in your stand-up.
Is that something that you're trying to be provocative?
The reason that I use the word is because I want to take ownership of it, and no one else can use it to make me feel bad.
But when you have people like us in the audience, we don't take power of it like that.
I think the way it came across was like it's okay to be called a bitch.
I feel like I'm taking away the negative from it, and I'm adding humor in it.
No, you're not taking the negative away. You're not taking it away.
When you see an average-sized person say their jokes, we can't always relate to that. You know, do you get what I'm saying?
They were
You
upsetting
can
me
relate
here.
when I say I'm as tall as an LA parking meter. It's comedy.
No,
It's funny.
that wasn't funny.
Or just say sex in the backseat. We could do it in the glove box. It's funny. I'm not doing that to hurt your feelings, but you would think that you guys would be able to relate to it in a comedic manner.
Unfortunately, people take that and think this is okay, and
It's not.
it just needs a different spin on how you portray it.
This is the first time that I have ever had anyone tell me that my jokes can offend people. I've never had anybody say this to me.
Y'all, when I tell you, after this, I remember filming this with them. Because, first of all, what they showed you here in this video was a 1-minute clip. This was an hour-and-a-half conversation that they broke down into a minute and a half, okay? So they were upset with me for an hour and a half, and we had this heated debate over it. And yeah, the tears were real. The tears were real because you have to understand, I was so excited to meet these women. I was so excited to meet them. I remember watching them when I was in college. I went to Washington State University, go Cougs. And I used to watch them on Lifetime. And I remember being so like, thank you. Thank you. Lila looks so badass wiping away that tear. That's right. That is right. I remember being so excited to meet them. Okay. And when I found out that they wanted me on the show, because I had only been, you have to understand too, I had only been doing comedy. I had only been doing, this is so funny. I had only been doing stand-up at this point for like 6 months. Okay, so very big deal for me to get a TV credit at this point. Only been doing stand-up for 6 months. Now, as somebody who's been doing comedy for 8 years, I would have handled this conversation entirely different. But I'm not entirely different. Take that wrong. The only thing that would be different is I wouldn't have cried. That's what would be different. I wouldn't have cried. But I am very proud of myself that I did not apologize. I didn't apologize for the joke because I believed in it. But also in the last 8 years, like my comedy has totally elevated, in a different, and I've grown a lot as a comedian. But at that point, I did not feel the need to apologize. And you have to think this is in 2016 too. So this is in 2016, the year that I started stand up. And this was like the beginning of like the woke police, I guess. Like when she was like the M word, I was like, are you for real? Do you guys not understand that you're on a show called Little Women because you all are midgets? And I'm not allowed, I'm a stand-up comedian and I'm not allowed to say the M word. Are you serious right now? God. And so I remember after that episode had aired, it hadn't aired. After I performed for the ladies, I went to the Hollywood Improv and I met up with my friend Jimmy. And he was like, how did it go? Because he like knew how much I had looked up. This is funny. Mega. Oh God. He knew, I went to the Hollywood Improv and I met up with my friend Jimmy. And he was like so excited for me. And he was like, how did it go? And I had another cry session with him. I was like, they absolutely hated me. It was absolutely horrible. I was so worried about what would happen when the episode came out. And the episode came out like 2 months later. And I actually loved it. I thought that it was a great clip, that how it worked out. I was really proud of myself. Like I said again, that, they just got one little tear. Nothing more than that. And that I didn't apologize. And I looked great. And it was really cool because I remember I performed in Vegas like not long after this had come out. And I remember walking down the street in Vegas and like people coming up to me and being like, oh my God, you were on Little Women LA. So the only thing is I wish I would have been invited back to do more episodes because it would have totally helped like vamp up my career, give me some of that fame clout. Thank you. Forest Mommy says, and you were real and stood up for yourself and didn't let those hoes make you bend the knee. That is right. In fact, I came up with like I talked about it on stage after that. And I came up with like a whole comedy like routine where I guess I had like bits about it. But yeah, it was really hurtful to them, supposedly. But then again, I think that they just wanted good TV. And I am really happy that we were able to have that conversation on national television. So it's pretty cool. Let me see what else. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is really fun. We're having a good time. Let me see if there's anything else I want to tell you. Ba, 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 ba. So cute. Okay. This is cute. I'm not going to play it, but I'm not going to play the audio, but I will just show you guys. Look how cute. This was me my first year doing stand-up. Look how cute. Aww. He's so cute. How funny. Okay. Wow. This You Up stream has just been fantastic. You guys are so fun. You guys really make me happy. That's so funny. What did Abel says? Actually, now that I think about it, if I wear a sombrero in Texas, I will get deported immediately. So yeah, that's not a good joke idea. Prop Joe says, I was supposed to go to bed a while ago. Well, you know what, Prop Joe? We're happy to have you here. In that clip, Forest Mommy, this one, yep, there's me. I was 24. 24. Yeah. If you guys want to actually listen to it, go on my YouTube channel and you can watch my first year stand-up 3-minute clip of me doing comedy. So cute. That was at Flappers in Burbank, which is so funny that Flappers is like it's so funny here in Dallas. If you like comedians like use Flappers Comedy Club as like a credit, they're like, this person performed at Flappers Comedy Club, and that's like a big deal in Dallas. But like in Los Angeles, it's just Flappers. It's not really a big deal. Yes, 24. I was a baby. I was a baby. I was 24. Okay, I'm trying to see if there's anything else I wanted to show you guys. I think what's cool about having some of my old stand-up online like that is I like that I have kind of like a history record of like seeing like how I used to perform a joke and then now how it's evolved. Because there are some bits that I have or some jokes that I have that I still, after 8 years, I still perform those jokes, but they've definitely evolved and changed, and maybe the format or where I put them in a set is different. This is funny. I asked this earlier. Does the little people community have like a hierarchy of who is considered real or not? Like the dwarves, like snotty to spina bifida? Actually, there is a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy in every single community. Just like there's a hierarchy of like hot chicks, you know? Like, you know, like Forest Mommy, you're a super hot chick, okay? When you like go into a club or like you go into just an event, and have you ever like had some other hot chicks, maybe like, or not even hot chicks, like some women just be like, kind of treat you like rudely because you're so hot and they're so insecure about themselves that they can't like approach you, or they're just like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that in the dwarf community too, where it's like now that we're all at the same level, there's like we're competing. There's always a competition. It's annoying, but I think that's just life. There's always going to be a hierarchy of some sort. It's like, damn, all of us are fucked up, but it's like, no, I don't know. It's weird. That's true, girl. We are at the top of the hot chicks. I say this in my stand-up. I'm like, I'm disabled and hot. That is hilarious. Now, if I was disabled and ugly, that would just be a tragedy. But disabled and hot, it's pretty fucking funny. And it's great. And that's why I do stand-up. Aw, thank you, Abel. We love you, Lila. We love your fiery spirit. Thank you. I need that. I need that. Yeah, I think that was like the hardest part for me too, is like when I first like went to disability like conferences and events. And actually the first time I went to it was like this conference in Los Angeles. It was called the Disabilities Expo. And I was like 20, 21, maybe 22. and I went for the first time. And I met a bunch of girls in wheelchairs. They were like this super hot wheelchair like dance team. And I just felt like they didn't like me. And I remember I was in the corner crying to my friend who's in a wheelchair and she has spina bifida, and I was crying to her. And I was like, oh my God, like I feel like everybody here just like doesn't like me because I can walk. And it was so weird. It was like I was like wishing that I was in a wheelchair so I could fucking fit in. I'm like, what the hell is going on? You know what? And that was, you know, a lot. But now, I think now I've just healed a lot. I've healed a lot of shit in my life, which I think is why I'm able to be sober. But it took me a long time. And I used to drink a lot because I was sad, really. And I had a hard time just accepting myself. And I'm still trying to figure things out. That's true. LOL, we are dumb as humans till we figure it out. Probably goes, wait, wasn't I the friend? I'm sure I called you and told you about it, but no, it was like literally my girlfriend that was there with me, and she was sitting in the wheel. I'll just never forget. She was sitting in the wheelchair. I'm like crying. And then the funny thing is, my same friend who was sitting in the wheelchair with spina bifida, turns out she can actually like walk a little bit. Like she uses the wheelchair for long distances, but she's able to like walk, you know, around her house. And I wish, and okay, I've been friends with this woman for like almost 7 years. And it wasn't until like last year she posted a video of her like walking around. And I was like amazed. I was like, oh my God, this is a miracle. And she was like, no, I've always been able to walk. I'm like, girl, why didn't you get up when I was crying about the fact that I have spina bifida and I can walk and I am like, I feel like I don't fit in? I'm like, I would have appreciated if you would have just like, you know, stood up a little bit and been like, hey, I can walk a little bit too. I just stand here sometimes. I don't know. It would have helped me. But it was funny. Isn't that funny? Okay. Let me eat more chicken. I'm going to have a chicken break. Are we having fun, guys? Patrick, thank you. I hope you're doing well too. Isn't this fun, you guys? Like hanging out on a live stream. I agree. It takes more courage to stand out than fit in. Forrest, mommy, I love you. Yes, this is great. Thank you for being up late. I tell people to not let their daughters fit in. I love that. You know what? I think I wouldn't change anything because it builds character, right? And I think we all have like, I got chicken in my teeth. I think that we're humans. What is even this? What is it? What is this? I don't know. All I know is that we all have traumas. We all have stuff that we're trying to heal from. You know, some people's just happen to be physical, but there are people who have mental stuff. There are people who have relationship issues with their families that are painful. We're all just wounded children trying to get more love. We need love, y'all. We need to love ourselves and we need to love one another because life is hard. And there's levels to this shit. It's like, okay, you think I'm going to be happy when this happens. I'll be happy when this happens. But you know what? Happiness is a treadmill. We just got to keep going because you get to the next destination. You get to more fame, more followers. Now you got more eyes. And you just got a different set of problems. So you got to be learned to be. I think that's also part of why I'm sober. Because I'm like, I got to really like, right now, I got to be in tune with my emotions. Got to be in tune with me. And I think the answers are all inside of us. Let's see. Abel says, I agree, but it's a bit hard to love myself at the moment. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. We all go through that. You know, we may look different on the outside. We all look different on the outside, but the inside, the feelings are the same. I don't know how this relates, but I'm going to tell you this. You guys, okay, if there's two cars on the road that are driving, one's like a Ferrari and one's like a beat up Toyota Tacoma, and they get in an accident, which car are you most like worried about fucking up? Right in the chat. The Ferrari or the beat up Toyota? I'll tell you the answer. The answer is the car you're most worried about getting messed up is the car that has the person you love inside of it. Right? That's the car that matters. You know, the Ferrari might just have some creepy weirdo in there, but that beat up Toyota Corolla, that's your mom could be inside that car. You know? That's the car that matters. And I think sometimes when I'm driving on the road, I'm driving along, I'm like, I am not disabled on this highway right now. Because the car is like the outside of me. Where it's like, that's kind of like what, I hope this is making sense, you guys. Our physical body, this is just the car. This is the car that I'm driving. Is a Ferrari really better than a Toyota Tacoma or whatever the fuck? Just a shitty car? No, it's who's in the car that matters. Yeah, it's who's in the car that matters. You guys, I do drive. I have a car. Well, I drive a car right now. And I sit on a booster seat. I've been driving since I was 16. So I've got a lot of driving experience, a lot of years of driving. It's funny. The best car is only as good as your mechanic. You guys, I can drive anything. Abel, Adam, kind of hard. I can't leave my situation. I'm a lifelong patient, victim of the medical system. They destroy my body and mind. My body is healed, but my mind is a bit tougher to heal. You know what? It's one day at a time, Abel. And you are so brave for speaking out the way that you have and sharing your story. And that's how we can help other people heal, is through sharing our stories. You know, the greatest thing about me doing stand-up is the fact that I've been able to connect and meet people who have children with spina bifida. One of the most best people I ever met when I was living in Los Angeles was this little girl. She was 13 and she had spina bifida. She has spina bifida like me. And her mom connected with me because her sister-in-law or something had seen me at a comedy show, and then they found me on Instagram and we connected, and they asked me to come meet up with them and to have lunch with this little girl. And I remember when I walked into the restaurant and I met her for the first time, it was so incredible because this 13-year-old girl, literally, she looked like me, like she walked like me, she had a little limp like me, and reminded me so much of myself when I was 13 years old. And it was such a great lunch and hang out with them. And as much as it like healed them, I feel like it really healed me, and it healed the 13-year-old version of me. And I just remember leaving that thinking like, wow, like if I was 13 and I could have met somebody like me who was doing stand-up and who was living this great life and also had spina bifida, it would have saved me from so much like heartache and insecurity and self-doubt that I had. And it made me so proud of myself that I was doing stand-up, because I felt like I was like saving this little girl from just trauma that I had gone through, and that like she could be confident having spina bifida. And we follow each other on Instagram, and she's so beautiful, and she's like constantly posting selfies with her friends and hanging out, and just like looks amazing, and just like looks like she's having this really great high school experience. And it just makes me so happy that I could be a part of that, you know? Oh, this is great. Adam says, I know comedy is therapy for you, Lila, but I also know you prioritize your jokes and not therapy. Probably leads to better experience on both fronts. You know, it's interesting, because I think people will say that. They're like, oh yeah, comedy is therapy, which in a way, yes, it is. But I also think like comedy is an art that once you've gone through, like once you've been able to understand yourself and kind of get through that like therapy stuff, you can work it out and you can create something that's like beautiful, you know? So it's like, it's not just going up there and being like, oh, I'm sharing my pain, because it's like, yeah, I'm sharing my pain, but this is pain that I've already like conquered and worked through. And now I have this beautiful joke to tie it into a bow and present it with, you know? And it's really cool. And now I've had this happen to me so much lately, like literally in the last like couple months, where so many people will come up to me after a show and be like, oh my God, like my my niece has spina bifida and she's 8 years old, and wow, I'm so amazed to meet you. I had one girl tell me that her sister is 6 months pregnant, and they just found out that the baby has spina bifida, and she couldn't believe that I was on stage and I have spina bifida. Because, you know, when your baby is going to be born with this disability, like doctors tell you so many scary things, like what could happen. And aw, thanks, Probjo. Probjo says, good night, girl. Love you. We're doing amazing. We are the prize. That's right. That is right. Good night. We love you, Probjo. You know, I think that that's another thing too. For like a long time, it would kind of like irk me when people would be like, all I want is a healthy baby. And it's like, I wasn't a healthy baby. And I think all babies matter. All life matters, you know? Like, that's why I could never be about killing babies, because people with disabilities are the first to go. And also, it's like sometimes doctors are wrong, and sometimes doctors just like don't know. And this is true. They do push abortion all the time. Like, I'll tell you a story about my sister. So I have a beautiful nephew. He's 8 years old. And my sister told me that when she was like a few months pregnant with him, the doctor said that the way that his skull was growing, he was going to have like be like mentally retarded, or like something bad was going to happen to the baby. And they were advising her to abort. And she didn't. And she also decided to not tell anybody about it. And she didn't tell anybody about it. They had all these doctor's appointments. And guess what? My nephew was born, and actually they were wrong. Everything was fine. He is so incredibly smart. He didn't have this birth defect that they said that he was going to be born with. So it's like, could you have, if my sister would have listened to the doctor, my nephew wouldn't be here. So it's like, you know, only God really knows what's going to happen. Only God really is in full control. Oh, thank you so much, Forest Mommy. She says, if you haven't watched World Death Organization by Lyle and Eric, go watch it. God is in control. They told my parents so many things. I wouldn't live to be 13. I wouldn't be able to walk. I would be basically very slow. Okay, I would have mental issues, and I'd be very slow, and that, you know, I'd probably have to be held back. And now look at me. I'm a goddamn stand-up comedian, which I like to think you have to be pretty intellectual to do, because it's not easy, and it takes a lot of work. Even though I can't have my words aren't working right now, but you guys, Get what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, it's God is who is control. God is who is in control. And yeah. I think everybody that's here is here for a reason. And you know, when you're feeling sad or you're feeling like you're not good enough, it's like think of all the people who had to come before you and all the lives and all the heartache and the love and all that like had to happen for you to even exist. You are the chosen one. You are here. And what an amazing time for us to be alive. I mean, yes, it is scary. Yes, there is a lot of crazy shit that's happening in the world, but what a time to be alive. Okay? I know 2020 we all went through some stuff. We went through shit, but I like to think that everybody that's here was chosen for this mission to be here. We were chosen. This is a mission, and we're here. Okay? We are all here. And what a beautiful gift that is. Cheers. Drink to that. I'm drinking tea. So let's see. My tea bags say, unity is the way of grace and harmony. My next one says, your strength is shared when you are present for others. Aww. And I am present for you guys tonight. How fun. I really like the whole, oh, this is positivity. Literally, it's what it's called, positivity. I need to eat more chicken nuggets. Not even chicken nuggets, the french fries. So, I had this like little theory. What if like when we die, we go up to heaven and you meet God and he's like, you did such a great job living the life of Lila. Good job, Lila. Now you're going to go down back on earth. I'm going to send you back and you're going to live life as Abel. And what if we are all like, what if we're all just like, I don't know how to explain this. Like, what if we're all like puzzle or like, what if we're all like God in this way? If like God is like a never ending from he's here from the beginning to the end. We need to be as good as Jesus. Like we need to be as good as we can, like Jesus or whatever God. Yeah. Sorry, I'm like tired, but also I have a lot of thoughts. I'll be an animal in the next life. That's funny. That's funny. Like, okay, here's my other theory. So, when they say God is never ending, he's been here from all of time, right? So, what if God was like, you know what? I want to break myself up into like a bajillion, bazillion pieces, which is what we are, like human beings. And we're all like puzzle pieces of the one God. So, if that's true, then we're like all connected in that way, right? And what if I'm really you and you are really me? And when you see the good in me, that's really you seeing the good in you. And when you're hating on me, that's really you just hating yourself. So if you think about life that way, it's almost like, why wouldn't you want the people around you to win and be successful and be happy? Because that's just you winning and being successful and happy, you know? That's right. We're all from God. Oh, this is so cute. You can be my next dog, Adam. Forest mommy. I miss the booty sniffer dog. I miss when you called him the booty sniffer. Well, everyone tends to hate God. Well, then they just hate themselves. You know, I don't go to church or anything like that. I did grow up going to church. I just believe in Jesus, and I know that Jesus loves all of you. Jesus loves me, and if you're ever in danger or you're scared and you scream out and call for Jesus, he will be there for you. He was such a little booty sniffer. Oh, he was so cute. So we had a family dog named Cool Guy, who's so cute. He was a teacup Yorkie, and we lost him like in 2021. It was so sad. People really hate themselves so much, and like we hate ourselves but don't project it. Yeah, it's hard, you know. And I think like all like the negative things you've ever thought about yourself, I'm pretty sure like every person on earth has thought about. We're all so judgmental to ourselves, but I also think that's like, I think I'm really great. Like for me, like doing stand up, I don't get like offended about things because anything negative someone could say about me, I've said worse about myself. So it's like you can't really offend me. I've had some really dark nights of the soul, and I have really said some mean stuff about myself. I mean, I tried to kill myself before, and I shouldn't be here, but I'm here, and that's how I know God is real. It took when I was 23. I was so sad and depressed that I swallowed a whole big handful of Xanax after a night of belligerently drinking, and it is a miracle that I woke up. You know, the crazy thing is the night that I did it, my mom, who was in Washington State at the time, I was living in San Diego at the time, she woke up in the middle of the night and started puking profusely, and she immediately like knew something was wrong, and she started calling my phone like a bajillion times, and I mean I was passed out, dying, you know, and I just didn't wake up. I woke up like 27 hours later. My parents had called my phone so many times that it was dead, and I truly do believe that there's like a strong energy between mother and daughter, and I think that my mom like puked out what I should have been puking out of my body. So I'm just really grateful that I'm here. So it's like if anybody in here has ever been like super sad, I get you. I understand you. I feel you. Like, you know, I'm so grateful I'm not in that place anymore. But I just don't really, I can't judge anybody who's ever killed themselves or tried to kill themselves, because the level of pain that you have to be in, and I was in that pain, it's so scary and it's so sad. Like you, yeah, it was bad, but I'm so grateful I'm here, and it's a miracle. That's how I know God's real. Thank you, Robert. I'm glad you're still here, Lila. Thank you. I'm glad you guys are still here with me. I'm just trying to get my watch time hours up. And we're learning how to live stream together. And this is fun. And there's something like really like fun about a live stream that's like happening like right now. All of us here together. Sometimes I just thinking about it was reliving when I was in those times too. Yeah. Aw, thanks. Thanks, Forrest, mommy. It is real talk. It's fucking, it sucks. Like when I really think about like, holy shit, I'm 32 and I was ready to die at 23. When I think about all that I've accomplished from 23 to 32. And I would have missed out on all of that. Let me see. Abel says, I've had many mental breakdowns these last few years, lots of crying and drinking. I know God was watching over me since he allowed me to make poor decisions, but not drastic ones since I was needed. You know, I think sometimes too, it's like people say like, well, how could God let this happen? Or how could God let that happen? It's like we have free will. But I do think that God has a plan. And I do believe I was like meant to go through that experience. Like I know this is like weird to say, but like I don't regret my suicide attempt because I'm actually like happy that I experienced that because I have like empathy for people who are in depression. I don't regret my alcoholism and my drug abuse because when I encounter somebody who's in active alcoholism or active drug addiction, like I can empathize and I can understand them, and I'm not coming from a place of judgment, and I can serve as a person that shows you, hey, it's possible to get sober. It's possible to change your life around, you know? God does work miracles. And I tell you guys, not only was I heavily addicted to alcohol, I was incredibly addicted to Adderall for 5 years, okay? So addicted from the age of 20 to 25 that I remember crying, looking out my window, watching somebody walk their dog, thinking, how the hell is that person walking their dog without taking an Adderall pill? That's how, like, and you know, Adderall, yes, there's people who have ADHD, there's people who need it, but I was taking it like somebody addicted to meth, okay? And it might as well have been meth for me. And I probably would have done meth during that time, but it was never offered to me. So, yes, this is what is Patrick's? What are they really? They're selling Adderall at the gas station, like actual Adderall, or just like somebody on the street corner selling it. This is true. Yes, Forrest Robinson, cherry picking pisses me off. I'll tell you this. I think all sin is equal. We're all messed up. Okay. The only perfect person was Jesus. And that's why he came down to earth to die on the cross for our sins. Okay. He was the only perfect person, but none of us are perfect. I'm sober now, but I'm still not a perfect person. Okay. I'm just grateful that I'm at this part of the journey. And I just need to be sober for the rest of the journey. But I don't regret my past. I don't, because I feel like my past and the fact that I can talk about it, I could share with people and they don't have to feel alone. You guys, I got arrested at an Oakland airport when I was in 2015. Okay, October of 2015, got arrested at an Oakland airport, taken off the airplane because I had a flight from San Diego to Seattle for my parents' 25th wedding anniversary. Okay, and from San Diego to Oakland was the layover, and this was 2015. So you know that I think it was like a Luke Bryan song that was "I'm getting drunk on a plane." That song was super popular. So so funny. Oh my gosh. The cutest arrest ever, I bet. I talk about this in my stand-up. I have a bit about it, but I'll tell you guys the detailed story. So I remember getting to the airport and popping 2 Xanax because I was like, I want to be able to drink. Like, my goal was to get drunk on the plane, like Luke Bryan sings in his song. I wanted to get drunk on the plane. So I took the 2 shots, or I took the 2 pills. And then as soon as I got through the gate, I went to the airport bar to like wait for my flight. I had a couple drinks there. Then I got on the plane and I had like ordered a couple drinks on the plane, took a couple shots. Then I got off of the plane, went to the bar, got more drinks there. I was like making friends at the bar. being my friendly self, drinking with people there. And then I remember getting on the plane, sitting in the front row, okay? It was in the front row of the plane. Everybody's boarding. I'm feeling great. I'm really feeling myself. I'm really feeling cool. And in fact, I'm going to show you guys a picture of what I looked like when this happened. I'm going to say October. Let's see if I can find it. 2015, my timeline. Okay, where is it? Hold on. I want to show this to you. My photos. Where is it? Photos by me. Let's see. I'm looking on my Facebook. I can't find it. It would have been great if I could have shown you this. So, anyways, we're about to take off from Oakland to go to Seattle. And before the plane takes off, 2 police officers get onto the plane. And they say, ma'am, they come up to me and they're like, ma'am, we've had a complaint that you are too intoxicated to fly. And we need to have you step off this plane. And I was like, what the fuck? How the fuck? Like, I'm not flying the plane. I'm a passenger. Like, do people really get arrested for being too drunk on a plane? Like, I'm not even doing anything. I'm literally sitting here. I have my seatbelt on. I'm like ready to like take off. And I just like talked back to this female police officer. Okay. And she did not like that I was talking back to her. And she just grabbed my shit and grabbed me and was like, you're coming with us. And I was like, the fuck, I am not going with you. And that's when she literally grabbed me. And then we get over to there and she's like, we get off the plane. She's like, I could arrest you. And I'm like, for what? Arrest me for what? And as soon as I said that, she put handcuffs on me and now I'm being arrested. And before I know it, I'm in the back of a police car. And that's right. They don't like being talked to. Here's where the story gets even more interesting. So I remember being on the back of this police car, right? And I'm with this male police officer in the back of his police car, and my hands were behind my back like this. I take my hands and I put them under my legs, and I move my cuffs to the front because it's uncomfortable. Because you guys, I'm disabled and I have spina bifida, and I cannot just have my hands behind my back like that. And I was in the cop car with this Oakland police officer, and he says something to the effect like, oh, you're with the big boys now. Like, are you afraid because you're with the big boy? And I'm like, I hope that this is being recorded, because are you even allowed to like speak to me that way? It seems highly inappropriate that you're speaking to me that way. And I was like, I need to use the bathroom. And he was like, well, you're going to have to wait. And I'm like, no, I really have to go. I have spina bifida and I need to go. And this police officer gets so mad at me. He's like, you don't have spina bifida. And I go, the fuck? I do. I have spina bifida. And he goes, you don't have spina bifida. My nephew has spina bifida and he's in a wheelchair. You don't have spina bifida. And I'm like, am I really arguing with this police officer over the fact of whether or not I have spina bifida? And he's like so pissed that he sees that I put my handcuffs to the front. I'm like, I need to have my handcuffs in the front because I'm very uncomfortable. So anyways, we get to the police station. They take all my pictures. They put me in isolation or whatever. I'm in this like room by myself. I'm so intoxicated. I'm like so upset. I remember they gave me like crackers and like carrots, and I take the crackers and carrots and I smush them on the ground. I'm like so fucking pissed, and I piss all over them because I'm like, fuck you. I don't belong here in jail. I call the 1-800 number for like abuse victims, like women's abuse victims. I'm like, help me, I'm in jail. They wouldn't fucking help me. Then I have to call my parents. My parents are like, where are you? We're at the airport, ready to pick you up. And I'm like, I'm not at the airport. I'm in jail. And it was horrible. And it's so funny because my dad recounts this story. And what happened was I had called my mom and my sister, and my sister calls my dad. And she's like, something happened to Diane. Well, my parents call me Diane. That's my middle name. And my dad, he said when he was on the other line, he was thinking like, oh, she's dead. She's dead. she's dead. And he was like panicking because my sister was like so slow to tell him. He was like waiting for her to say she's passed away. My sister goes, she's in jail. And my dad was like, oh, okay, great. That's fantastic. That's fine. Because also he was just happy I wasn't dead. But my dad is was at the time was a correctional officer. So that's what made it even more crazy. So after, girl, oh no, just wait to hear what happens. I can't imagine you being so bad that they need to do that. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. So then after I'm in isolation for like an hour, they put me in with all the women. Okay. And I'll never forget this. So now I'm going to be with all the other criminal women. And I go in and I see all the women, and there's like a bench, and there's like 15 women sitting on each side. And there's one silver toilet. So if you have to piss or you have to shit, you're doing it in front of fucking 20 other women. Okay. And I remember I go in there and they're like, what were you arrested for? And I was like, I was drunk on a plane. And most of them, a majority of them were Oakland prostitutes. Okay. Never forget, this woman was like her head was next to the toilet, and she pops up and she starts screaming at me. She's like, you don't belong here. You don't belong here. And I'm like, I know I don't belong here. Like, what? You don't have to tell me twice. So then after that happens, I'm like, okay, if I'm going to be here, I might as well like make friends with these people. So I have everybody go around. I start leading like a group therapy session. I'm like, tell us all why you're here. I became friends with this like girl named Nikita, or not like Natika. Her name was like Natika. We're still friends on Facebook, by the way. And I'll never forget, she was in there because she had fake $100 bills, and she was at the mall and she was spending money, but she could not resist going into Forever 21, where they had the 2 for $10 cami sale. And the 2 for $10 camis is what took her out, because they saw that her $100 bills were fake and she tried to get 4 camis. Anyways, her ass was in jail because of that. Well, I've been here for now for like a couple hours. I'm making friends with all the prostitutes. And I remember this girl comes in. She's new. She was who I was like 2 hours ago, crying. And she's crying. She's all upset. I'm like, girl, come sit next to me. Her arm's like in a sling. And she was arrested for attempting to run over her her boyfriend. They got into like a domestic abuse fight, and like he fucked up her arm, but because she tried to run him over or like something, or maybe, I don't know, but she would try to kill this motherfucker, and now she's in jail with us. So then it was very interesting with the prostitutes. I was like, how much are you guys charging in these streets? I'm like, I'm like, wow, it's like I'm getting to like talk to like a real life prostitute. And this, thanks, Adam. Says your life is wild. Yeah, it's freaking wild. And also on top of that, I've been in jail, and I've also been to 23 countries, but that's another story. So I asked the prostitutes in Oakland how like most of them were on drugs too. Like most of them were like prostituting because they were addicted to heroin. Remember, one girl had been in there for so long, and she was like starting to have the shakes because she didn't have her heroin. And she was telling me that I was like, how much are you guys charging for your services? And it's literally $50 for a BJ. $50. My mind was blown. I was like, that's like not very much money. I'm like, you guys could be like charging like way more for these services. But I think it's like $50 is what they got, because they had a pimp, like that whole thing. And this is, you have to understand, you guys, this is like in 2015, like way before OnlyFans was a thing. So I'm like, anyways, whatever. They were like actually real ass prostitutes out in the wild. So I got to tell you guys, it was so freezing in this goddamn jail cell. So then they would not give us like any clothes. And I'm in a freaking, you guys want to know what I was wearing? I was wearing a red like leotard thing with a little ass skirt. I looked beautiful, but I was wearing this like red leotard outfit, and I might as well look like I was one of the prostitutes. Okay. So anyways, I was freezing. For some reason, there was a shit ton of toilet paper. So I started nesting. I started making this like this toilet paper nest situation, like a goddamn hamster. I was wrapping my arms in toilet paper. That's how freezing I was. And then they moved a bunch of us to a different unit, like a different jail cell unit, and the phone wasn't working. And I was the only one that was like, hey, I don't think this is legal. Like, I don't think we're allowed to be in a cage here with a broken phone. Like, the phone should be working. Like, we should be able to contact people. Like, this is inhumane. So afterwards, gosh, afterwards, I was in there for like over half a day, so over 12 hours. It was horrible. I remember laying on the hard concrete. I'm like, could my life really get any worse? Like, this is like, I'm literally at rock bottom. This is so bad. I'm on a cement ground on my parents' 25th wedding anniversary. This is so humiliating. My life is in shambles. I am, what the fuck? So I remember I got out, got released, and then to make the story even worse, I had to repurchase a Southwest Airlines flight because I was arrested off a Southwest plane. I had to repurchase a Southwest Airlines flight, and I saw the same stewardesses, like the same people, because it was at the same gates, and they were like, oh my God, what happened to you? And I was like, I was arrested. I was arrested. And I remember my parents picked me up from the airport. My mom was so sad. She was like in so many tears. But my mom also was like so supportive of me. She was like, you know, everything's going to be okay. One day you're going to laugh about this. The biggest thing though, my mom advised me, she was like, don't tell anybody about this. So I'm telling you guys, I did not post a single Facebook post. I did not tell any of my friends. In fact, I posted the pictures of me at the airport with my cute ass outfit saying, had a great flight. So excited to be in Seattle, without fucking saying that. I mean, I wish I could find the post, you guys. I got to find you the post because it just makes it so much. Let me look for it. So it was October. Let's see. Gosh, where is it? Let's try this. I gotta find this for you guys because the picture is just so funny. Where is it? What? Let's just try this. One more. I'll try one more search thing. If it comes up, great. If it doesn't, I really want it to come up because it's just so funny. Where is this photo? It's not coming up. Okay. Yeah, you guys, it was a journey. But anyway, so I never told anybody about it. So this was October 2015. Okay. I ended up like moving back home for a couple months because it was just bad. I needed to get my shit together. I needed to just like regroup, get my shit together. And then I moved back to Los Angeles January 2016, the new year. And then I started comedy February 10th, 2016. And then I started telling jokes. And then I came up with a bit where I talked about getting arrested at the airport. And that's when I first told the story, was through stand-up. But I never told this story before that. So when I started performing this comedy bit I have about the incident, people were like, oh my God, did that really happen to you? And I was like, yeah, it did. But to go back to what we were talking about earlier, it's like I had healed through the pain, I had healed through the trauma, and then here I was able to create a comedy bit and create a joke about what had happened, right? Like I didn't just go up there and I'm like, oh my God, I went through this miserable situation. It was so bad. It was like, no, I was able to go up there confidently and have this like beautifully written joke that gets a huge laugh. And, you know, it was awesome. And it was like such a moment. And then I remember like my mom being like, see, I told you that someday you would laugh about this and it would be, you know, it'd be great. Because I'm telling you guys, like after this incident happened, I was you know, again, I was on the verge of suicide. I'm like, this is like so horrible. Like, what the hell is going on with my life, you know? Abel says, I can say that I've been an angel and never had a bad experience with police. Aw, you're so sweet, Abel. Oh, goodness. And again, you know, I will say this. I would not recommend being arrested. I would not recommend spending the night in jail. But am I grateful for the experience? Now, I am. Now I can honestly say I am. Because, you know, like, experiences, it makes for good comedy. And it makes for a spicy life. That's for sure. Everybody loves a good comeback story too. So it's like, you know, you have to go through some adversity. You have to go through some fuckery, and then you know, you have a comeback, a great comeback story, and that's beautiful. Seriously, taking a yes, Taurus mama. Pain makes it stronger. This is true. This is funny. It's not funny, but it is. My cousin got to spend the night in jail. Her dumbass fought her boyfriend while drunk and admitted to the police she hit him first. So, you know what? That's another thing I would say is don't talk back to police. Do not. That was my first mistake. Oh, okay. Forest mommy, I have to tell you this too. This is where the story gets even crazier. So the part of the reason why I moved back home is because I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to go to court. Like, I'm going to be in serious trouble for this, right? Well, so I moved back home, and then I started calling the police department. Good night. I started calling the police department to like see when my court hearing was. And guess what? They dropped every charge. I don't even know what the charges were, but there was no charge. There was no nothing for me to go to. So, isn't that crazy? Absolute fucking morons, Adam. And it was discrimination. And also, I could have sued them. But, yeah, it's wild. How many people do you know get arrested at the freaking airport for being too drunk on a plane? What the hell? That was me. And the funny thing is, I didn't even get sober after that. I still continue to drink and do Adderall. I was like, I'll just slow down a bit. Like, I don't actually have a problem. Ask your question, Welshie. Yeah, that's so, it was crazy. And I don't think I've told like the full story like you guys just got. Oh, my hair's looking crazy. Here. It's kind of weird how the bar, it's like upside down. Why is it upside down, the Barbie? It's like, it's weird. Oh, goodness. Oh, my gosh, you guys. This has been so much fun. I cannot believe it's 2:31. I can't believe that it's so late and you guys answered my You Up text. My You Up notification here on the stream. I got to set up my new microphone because it's so cute and I got it at Best Buy. Oh, it's late, but thanks for hanging. Yeah. Guys, this was so fun. This was so great. I feel like I'm getting better at this. So you guys are helping me. And again, we don't totally have a format. I'm just I'm still learning stuff. You get a discount for upside down shirt. No, I just realized this now. I got this at Target and no discount. That's funny. Oh gosh, you guys. This was so fun. Did we have a good time? Did we enjoy ourselves? I think we did. Oh my god. You know what? What we'll do too eventually is like I'll do like this is funny. I got nothing to do besides be up at 7 a.m. to go to class with my producer at 9 a.m. Well, you know what, Abel? I'm so happy you hung out. This was great. Just think about it. Chrissy will be a mommy before long. I know. I'm so excited for her, you guys. She's going to be such a great mom. She really is. She's going to be a freaking awesome mom. I'm really excited for her. Any other thing I want to tell you guys about? Oh, this was so fun. I don't want to leave, but I feel like I should wash my face and go to bed after I just told you my crazy arrest story. What's the weather like out there where you guys are at? It is still freezing here. Oh, Lila, if I ever get arrested, please promise me you won't share the mugshot with my name on social media. Just share the photo. I don't need crazy activists getting my name. I promise I won't share that. It's funny. It's so hard to say goodbye. No, you hang up. That's funny. You guys, it's cold here, which is why I still have like this freaking sniffles. All of our plants are in the garage. I have to tell you. So when my mom is going to be coming to visit in the next month or so, and she's going to be staying with me for a little while. When she does come to visit, we are going to be doing a cooking with Nanai stream. Nanai means mom in Tagalog. But when my mom comes to visit, I'll be doing a live stream show with her. Won't that be fun? Are you guys going to tune into that? I think you guys will. I think you guys are going to like it. I think you guys are going to tune in. My wrist is okay. Let me check this really quick before I leave. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. Don't forget, I have a show January 25th at Hyenas in Dallas with Chrissy Mayer. She will be headlining, and me and Keanu Thompson will be there. Alex Stein is a special guest, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be performing as well. We're going to have a good time. We'll get to hang out in real life. We can have a fun time together. It's going to be great. Oh my gosh, I can feel myself tired. I'm so proud of myself, you guys. We had fun. We had a very fun time. We shared a lot of laughs. And we, oh yes, Robert. We will be making lumpia and adobo. Yes. So it's like the last time y'all were at Hyenas. Yes. You're going to be there, right? I can't wait to see you. Oh, okay. All right, you guys. I had a good time. I hope you had a good time. And always, as always, remember that God rewards bravery. Jesus loves you. I love you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification button. And be kind to each other. But most importantly, be kind to yourself. I love you. I'll see you next time. Good night, y'all.